Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the path of night.
Last time on Path of Night, the coterie rode back to New Haven with their allies. They made preparations for war, deciding first to have Neil help Britta and Miles through a Durunki ritual to heal their shattered minds. The trio began their ascent up the ladder of heaven, and there Miles faced his fears. Britta, you find yourself passing through the sphere's borders and into the world. But unlike Miles, you do not land upon its surface, but rather crash through into the watery caverns below. And there, you find this very small sanctuary. Within it are statues. You recognize them, having learned their names by heart when you were just a little girl. Salon, Set, Troyo. You recognize the crumbled statue Bruja that lies beyond Troyal's statue. You recognize wise Hakim, and the most feared among them, the eldest, Zemisi. You, the statue says, you are Talmahera.
Britta tries to wipe the cold water out of her face. It all feels so clinging, and as the statues start to move, she takes a step back. Samitsi. Seeing this form, familiar in a memory that she didn't know she had, but also with the echoes of what she does know of herself, she squeezes her eyes shut, and she says, "You're not real. You're not real. Neil said you weren't real."
Child, Neil has spent the past year saying quite the opposite. I am real. I am awake. And I demand loyalty from my supplicants.
Britta can't keep her eyes shut. She's too scared to keep her eyes closed to this. So they flicker back open. She keeps taking steps away, but she says, I'm not a supplicant.
Insolent child, you forget who you are. I will remind you of what is at stake. Your actions do not merely bring forth consequence for yourself, but for the faithful who followed you even unto death. Isn't that right? And you hear another voice behind you. Yes, O great eldest. It has been too long, pussycat.
Britta lets out a strangled yelp and takes a huge step forward, but that's closer to the Smeetsy statue, and she tries to find somewhere else to go.
No. Britta, don't upset them. You hear Romeo's voice.
Romeo?
Do not speak to the boy. What becomes of your sycophant will not be decided with what you say to him, but how you answer me. My child, bearer of Troil's curse, if she does not cooperate, you are to collect pieces of Romeo.
Please don't hurt him.
You hear this gurgled scream come from Romeo.
No, Romeo!
Don't worry, child. That was for your brief moment of insolence. You will not make that mistake again, and therefore he will not have to scream as he does.
I'm sorry,
Yes, submit. Submit or else. You have no place being here. It is not your place to challenge the end of the world. It is inevitable. It is your purpose to embrace it, to carve the way from my arrival. Such is the promise of the Talmahera, and it is what you will do.
But I'm not Talmahera anymore.
You feel a burning sensation from your palm. Do not lie to me, girl. You are Talmahera. It is all that you are. It is all that you are meant to be. A cog in a glorious machine.
No. I'm not lying. There's more.
You deny me, girl. Romeo screams, and you hear the wet sound of pieces of him being tossed at your feet.
No, please stop.
Say it. Say that you are my supplicant, and he shall suffer no more.
Who else are you going to hurt when you break through? It won't just be him.
Child, when I break through, there shall be no pain.
That's not true.
Of course it is. You know that it is true. You dread it, you fear it. To you, what will come might be the stuff of nightmares, but it is only because it is in existence you do not yet understand. All shall be one. All shall be Zimitsi. Even you. Even Romeo. Hear the way he screams, and he screams as now bones from his toes are tossed at your feet. The world does not need to suffer like this. And so I shall end its suffering, and you, my supplicant, will aid me. Now, swear your fealty. Proclaim yourself supplicant to the eldest.
Romeo, I'm so sorry.
Are you speaking to Romeo again?
I know.
Another voice speaks from behind you. Oh, no, my pussycat. You should not have spoken to him. There's a crunching noise. A wet hand, its fingers brush along the side of your cheeks from behind, and sort of left over your shoulder, kind of dangling as a decoration, is a slick, wet spine. Your last chance. Proclaim yourself supplicant.
I saw what you did to Hell House. And I saw what you did to the Tremere Chantry and the orange, the mold that's coming up through the city in New Haven. All of the rot and the fungus and I can't let the world be like that. I can't. You can claim that it's all pain that's going to go away, that's whatever you believe, but no. You're going to hurt people exactly like this, and
And I don't want to be hostage to that.
Flay her. And a pair of arms wrap around you. But they don't yank, they're not forceful. They're actually warm to the touch. Hey. You did it. Let's get out of this cave. And Romeo takes your hand and walks so that you can see him. And he is warm to the touch, unharmed. And he leads you from the cave.
Britta holds on to him almost too tightly and follows him out.
Johnny, Wynn, things are getting a little weird. You're seeing those crimson tears starting to roll down both Miles and Britta's cheeks. Neil seems pretty chill. He's just kind of doing his thing, not really fazed. The two of them seem like they are going through it. And that is when you notice that beyond the backyard of Miles' property, there is the shine of flashlights and hooded figures boosting each other over the back fence. And it's like 8 in all. And they've got some cheap guns, hiking boots, torn up jeans. And in the dark, Wynn particularly, you recognize they have fangs.
Johnny, these look like kindred coming.
It's readily apparent that they don't quite see you guys yet. And it's also very clear to the two of you that these are not experienced kindred. They're awkward, they're noisy, they don't have any of the natural predatory, well, I don't want to say natural, but the predatory like behaviors that kindred develop as they become more experienced. They're just people.
These are most likely shovelheads.
Very likely.
Okay.
How many you see, Wynn?
So Wynn just pops her gangrel eyes on. There's 8 of them. They're not moving like a unit. They're
not all carrying flashlights, right? There's only a couple of flashlights among them.
Only a few flashlights, and they're carrying flashlights.
Yeah, there's.
Tell you what.
This feels like a formality, not an actual attack, if I'm being honest, or a distraction.
It might be, but they can still cause a lot of trouble if they get here while they're just sitting like this. And I don't think this is unique to us. This is happening everywhere.
Probably.
I'll go after the ones with the flashlights. You go after the ones on the outskirts that I can't see.
Here's my concern. Does one of us need to stay here in case there is another group coming up that we don't know about yet?
Let's just be quick about it.
Okay.
Johnny will spend 2 blood for celerity.
Wynn will follow suit, but will also pop claws.
This does put him at a 0 blood pool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, buddy, please.
Oh, buddy.
So I'm going in to get some blood.
She will try to be a little stealthy as she approaches the group.
Roll me a Dex plus Stealth. You're at a -1 difficulty because it's dark out.
1 success.
I will also give you a stealth check to approach. So only 2 successes.
All right, I'm going to roll the resisted rolls. They have 1. As the two of you approach, one of them goes, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" And they shine the flashlight right in your face, Wynn.
Your fucking problem.
Oh.
Am I close enough to grab one of them?
If you have initiative, they're not like right up against you. Why don't you roll initiative? Why don't we all roll initiative?
10.
14.
Before combat starts, Garrett, you may take 1 action at -1 diff.
Can I split that action?
Not for a surprise, no.
Okay.
Oh, and you gain +1 die.
So -1 + 1.
No. So -1 difficulty.
Oh, difficulty, but +1 die.
It's dark out.
So both of them are to your benefit.
Of the shovelheads, is there one that it looks like they're mostly in charge, or kind of like calling shots amongst the rest?
It's difficult to tell because while there is probably someone in charge, they're probably not doing good enough of a job that they're really standing out to you.
Do any of them have any, you said that there's some weapons amongst them.
Yes.
What's the meanest looking weapon among all of them?
One of them has a, what is traditionally referred to as a nail bat. Another one has a wooden stake.
So the person with, the shovelhead with the stake, Johnny thinks that 7 shovel heads is probably better to deal with than 8, even though he wants to feed from them. So he's just going to go ahead and try to incapacitate the one with the stake immediately before going in to drink. Leaping from the shadows, he's going to put his boot knife into the forehead of the one with the stake.
Oh my god, dude.
What's coming through the other side of his skull?
This is a dead man.
That's a humanity check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 successes.
11 will roll over into damage.
Well, I won't be spending potence because I don't have it to spend.
Ooh.
9 damage. 9 lethal damage, I should
I'll
say.
roll his 2 stamina, and it turns out he's down with 2 successes. You slam the knife down into his skull. Your fist actually concaves a good chunk of it. And with a single spasm that rolls through his body, he collapses to the ground. His body then enters a torpid state and becomes this dried, shriveled body. The group of them go, huh? And then we start at the top of initiative. Johnny, it's yours.
Johnny lets out a feral roar as his beast struggles for control amidst a field of blood bags. Johnny will split his action and will snatch up the next one with the nail bat, grabbing him by the scruff of his shirt and pulling him close to feast. 3 successes to snatch him up.
You grab him, yank him up.
He will then bury his face in his into his shoulder and just tear out a section and feed.
Okay, you take 3 blood. The gun goes off. Wynn, you're being shot at. They have +2 difficulty to hit you because they're in the dark. They do not botch, but they fail.
She kind of watches the bullet go by.
Next one attempts to clobber you with a nail bat.
Okay.
Okay, they will miss.
As she's looking at the bullet, the bat goes sailing by her head.
Another one panics and will attempt to grapple you. Okay, that's not good. They will miss.
Damn, dude.
Johnny, one of them will actually attempt to stab you with a knife. They're at difficulty 7. And they will hit.
Let's do it.
They will fail to roll any damage.
Oh my god.
Win.
Since this is kind of a laughable excuse for an attack.
There was a time when this would have been considered an extremely dangerous threat to the group of you.
Yes. She
That's just a long time ago.
Yeah. She gives a quick glance back to the people she's supposed to be protecting to make sure nothing has crept in.
Neil looks perfectly fine. The other 2 look very stressed, but are otherwise unharmed.
Yeah, no one is dragging them away. No one has put a bullet in them.
Nope.
Okay. Does that count as an action?
No.
Okay. Wynn kind of looks at the one with the nail bat, just like, guys, I feel bad about this. Can you just stop?
Like, sorry, bitch, we have to break this curse.
Oh god, you're so little. And she will just go to grab one of them by the collar of the shirt. She's not looking to do any damage. She's just going.
Oh, you poor things.
She's like, oh, you stupid, stupid boys. She's gonna try and scare some sense into them more than anything else.
Give me a Dex plus brawl.
Okay. I'm gonna use my Dex thing of Swift, but I am not gonna be using my brawl spec in claws.
Okay.
5 successes to grab the guy and hold him up and just look at him with...
You snatch him up.
I'm just holding him like I'm scruffing like a mama bear scruffing a cub. Guys, this guy is not the way you're gonna end this curse. Believe me, I would tell you how if I knew.
If she knew how to end this curse, she wouldn't be a vampire anymore.
I know. If I knew how, I would tell you this fucking sucks. I would rather you be with your families. I would rather be with mine. Nobody here knows how to fix this. What was done to you was a monstrous political maneuver to turn you against us. No one here can fix you. But if you want to, we can help you get revenge on the people who did this to you.
When she says no one here can fix you, with his eyes like shining like a wolf, Johnny roars, I can!
Oh, God!
And I'm going to take celerity actions if you're done.
Yeah, do you think?
I've still got my celerity action.
Yep.
Johnny is going to continue, he's going to go back into this guy's neck and continue to drink 3 more blood.
Okay. Wynn, it's your turn. You're on celerity.
If you and your boys want to survive this, I suggest you get out of here now. My name is Wynn. If you want to help get revenge, come find me later. And she kind of like tosses him back over the fence.
All right, give me a strength plus athletics. You are not near the fence, but this is something you can do.
Team Rocket flies off again.
Does unspent potence count for this or just for into
It
damage?
counts.
Okay.
I want strength athletics.
That is 1 success.
You launch him over the fence and he disappears into the other side.
Go on, get!
Johnny.
Johnny will now rip out his throat with his teeth, and just make a straight up attack. So I'm assuming I'm rolling a brawl.
Dex plus brawl. The bite maneuver is at -1 diff.
5 successes.
4 will carry over into damage.
Only 3 damage.
You tear into his throat for 3 levels of aggravated damage. He lets out a gurgled scream, and they resist the rot shrek that the two of you nearly put them into.
Johnny will just drop him onto the ground and turn to the rest of them. Another one!
Or you can leave.
They're not fast enough to...
Not all of them.
their actions don't come for a while. You guys have more celerity actions. You may take them.
I just had the 1.
Okay. And I just took 2.
Okay. Top of the next round, Johnny.
My initiative does go down by 1 because I did spend 2 for celerity.
I'm spending 3 for celerity, so my initiative will be a 13 as well.
Okay. Order stays the same.
Johnny will snatch up the next closest victim to him with 2 successes. And then, do you need an attack roll for me to feed?
Nope.
Okay. And he will take 3 blood from that victim.
Okay. Win.
When we'll start...
Oh, no.
Oh,
It's
they're
them.
hitting me? Oh, okay, great.
She wouldn't fucking lie to us. And with the confidence of a blood-bound man, he fires his gun at you. And botches.
God.
There's a thump in the back of the man that Johnny is currently holding, and he yelps in pain as one of them shoots another one of them.
Baby, all they do is lie.
No, you're lying!
What do I gain from this?
A nail bat comes at you and strikes true.
Okay.
2 successes will carry over into damage.
Okay.
Nail bat is 2 lethal. He connects for 6 levels of lethal damage. Go ahead and give me a soak roll.
Okay. So that's, I did get a 1. So that's going to take away 1 of my 10s. 5 successes.
He drew blood.
He knocks a tooth loose, and you realize these guys are bloodbound. They are not going to see reason.
I grabbed the bat.
Is that the first time you've taken damage tonight?
I need
Yep.
a self-control check.
All right, self-control. It's not good, guys, but... Oh, no, it's not bad. What's the difficulty?
I'm going to say a chump knocking a tooth loose is particularly irritating, and it's going to be diff 7.
Okay. Well, that's no successes then.
All right, it's frenzy time.
All right. So Wynn just kind of gives this glare at the guy who connected the bat to her face with this briefest instance of, I gave you a chance to run in her face. Cricks her neck. And I guess we're going ham.
I hate to point this out. You are gangrel and you're frenzying.
Yep, you have a beast feature.
Wynn stares at this poor bastard who should have run when he had the chance. Raven feathers begin to weave themselves through her white braid because she is a gangrel and she is frenzying. And regret is the game she will play after the frenzy is over. And she prepares herself to do some damage. She has already spent the blood for claws. She raises a hand and just brings it down. I will also spend a blood for more strength. 5 successes.
4 will carry over into damage, so you will be rolling strength plus 5 dice of damage.
Plus an additional
Plus
3, right?
Yeah, for the Fenrir's Talons.
Jesus.
A paltry 4. Ag.
You rend him for 4 levels of aggravated damage and he screams.
Is that including the 2 auto successes?
That is not including the 3 auto successes. So 7
ag.
7 ag. My bad.
Fucking components right there, my God.
You lay him low.
Is he out? Or is he dead? Or is he
He's
just...
incapacitated with aggravated damage. He's basically done forever.
Okay. Would it be an action to pick him up and drain him?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll have to wait for celerity.
Okay.
Johnny.
None of the goons are going after me?
They went before you.
They came and went.
Okay, cool. I will use my first celerity action to continue drinking from the poor sod that I have held up.
Okay. You take 3. Wynn.
Gonna pick up the bastard that I knocked down and I'm gonna drain him.
So while you're in frenzy, he is a target that is no longer moving. It's on to the next one.
All right, then I'm gonna drain the next one that I find.
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep killing them.
Okay. 6.
5 dice will carry over.
So that would be 8 that I'm rolling for damage plus strength.
Yes.
Okay. Gross. OP as hell. 9.
With 9 levels of aggravated damage, you reduce one to just a pile of meat. That one is not one that you guys will be able to feed from.
Okay.
Johnny.
Johnny will, with his second celerity action, take another 3 blood from this poor sod. So that's 9 blood from this current one I'm holding.
Okay. Wynn.
Is this celerity 3 or 2?
2.
She will move on to the next one and commit another war crime. Okay, that'll be 8.
To hit?
Yeah.
That's 7 carrying over.
Okay. That's a disgusting amount of dice that I'm using not to soak.
Imagine if you were just adding 5 successes to this.
I know, right?
Get that potent 5, girl.
10.
Another one screams and perishes under the duress of being torn to pieces.
At least I'm making it quick. Most of the time.
Johnny has downed 2 and snatched another one up. Wynn has downed 3 at this point. So
Yeah.
2 guys left,
Yeah.
not being including the one who's being held by Johnny.
Johnny, I believe we have your final action.
I'll take another 3 blood.
You will gain 2 blood, and you will suffer an unsoakable level of aggravated damage as you begin to draw on the soul.
So 11 blood. What pool is that? Or what generation is that?
12.
12?
If full on blood, 12th gen.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Done doing science over there.
The whole table starts looking around like,
What you doing, buddy?
Pump the brakes, Johnny.
No, that's fun. Truthfully, I'm not trying to go crazy because I actually only take 1 blood from him. I'm actually almost full myself.
Oh.
I was doing that more because I was kind of curious about how deep these guys went.
Johnny, it's your turn. As you enter a new round, so new celerity expenditures if you're doing it.
Both hands gripping him, Johnny pulls away and then will take a turning step and throw this guy full out into one of his friends.
Roll it.
One of the few remaining. So I'm sorry, Dex plus athletics for a throw?
Yep.
Or might that be brawl street fighting?
I'd accept either.
Well, then let's go brawl street fighting. Jesus. 3 successes.
Oh, God.
2 will roll over into damage.
I took out 5 dice because of 1s.
Oh, God.
Just 2 points of damage.
They both take a point of bashing damage as one connects into the other. And at this point, they are attempting to flee. Is anyone stopping them?
I don't think I have a choice but to try and stop them.
Johnny will put a hand out and try and restrain Wynn and let them flee at this point.
Wynn is going to have the opportunity to strike at 1. And then on your celerity action, you'll be able to attempt to grab her.
Yep.
Wynn. 1 for the road.
Yeah. You don't get to leave after I gave you the chance.
Mm-hmm.
You stayed. Maybe the fight's taken out of her because she did not roll any successes.
You rush and slash, and the fleeing kindred, just as fate should have it, they are not stricken down. Johnny.
Johnny is not spent for any celerity.
Johnny, new round.
Are the two of it's just last 2, right? On their feet? Maybe one that I didn't fully incapacitate, so maybe 3?
3.
And then
one just has no blood.
2 of them are on the ground dead, and then 3 of them are incapacitated on the ground.
Yes.
Okay. So those 3 are running in the correct direction away from the place?
Yep.
Oh, God. How do you pull someone out of frenzy? I don't know how to do this. I'm on the other side of this thing.
Teach you animalism some point, buddy, but now is not that moment.
Johnny will scoop up Wynn in a bear hug from behind and just try to talk her down. In fact, actually, he's going to try and pull her away so that she's not looking towards any of the goons. He wants her looking towards the house where Miles and Britta and Neil are in ritual. It's over, girl. All right, calm down. Calm down. It's over. Do you want me to make any rolls for any of these things?
First roll to grapple.
7 successes to grapple.
Well, you scoop her up. And why don't you give me a charisma leadership as you try to work with Wynn?
2 successes.
With 2 successes, you start taking a tone that is more familiar to her and start trying to work her out of this rage she's found herself in the midst of. Wynn, why don't you go ahead and give me a self-control roll?
What's difficulty?
6.
1 success.
Okay. You're starting to calm. Why don't you guys go ahead and roleplay for a moment, and I'm going to have you make another self-control test.
I told them to run!
I know, and they're running now. We did some damage. I need you to calm and be with me, though. All right? Look at them over there. We're protecting them. We're not taking vengeance. This is just about protecting them. Look at them.
I'm
Neil,
looking.
Miles, and Britta.
I'm looking.
They're vulnerable, and they need us to be with it. Clear-headed. I know. Don't worry about these goons. Worry about them.
Give me another self-control.
1 success.
Sure to calm, and the 2 of you working together. The situation comes to an end. You have a few captives. You've got some bodies.
Wynn begins to unfurl against Johnny. He can recognize the signs of her coming back to herself, caging the beast again.
Good job. Fucking good job, Wynn.
I gotta teach you animalism, buddy.
I'll just do things the hard way, like usual. He does not put her down. He kind of just holds, does a little kind of scoop, kind of holds her up higher and just basically kind of carries her, kind of rubbing her back and holding her in his arms and walks her back towards the haven.
She'll let herself dangle, put a head on his shoulder, just let the combat bleed out of her.
Don't worry about this shit here. I'll take care of all this. I need you to watch the 3 of them.
Well, I'm hungry now, so I might need some survivors.
He stops, looks back at the group.
Or I can just talk.
No, you're fine.
There might be some left in the bowl. I don't know if that'll fuck up the ritual.
All right, let's get you fed. How hungry are you?
I could stand to go a little longer. It's not super dangerous, but
okay. I'm gonna bring some of them over for you to drink. Don't drink too deeply. They're a little on the younger side.
Yeah, I know, Johnny. It was killing me.
Maybe no more than.
I was gonna go 6 each.
I was gonna say don't drink more than 3 from any of them. All right.
Okay.
Johnny will bring the one with the knife still buried in its head. They're incapped, but they still have all their blood, right?
That's correct.
Yep.
as you're doing so and feeding Wynn, when you look back at the three, you will actually notice, for the first time since any of this began, Neil's eyebrows furrow, and he looks distressed.
Wynn, she doesn't want to touch him, but she does go closer to him. Just sort of like their positions are reversed from when she was earth melded and he was hovering over her in the grass. Just hoping that he can feel closeness and not alone.
Neil, you arrive to a vast cityscape. Hanging overhead is the eye of a monster whose hunger is without end, and everything is soaked in its red light. Sitting on the roof, looking down over New York, is a woman you recognize, Nara. So, you've been avoiding me.
Neil is tempted for just a second to continue lying to himself, but having been here before, kind of looks at her and shrugs. Yeah, I guess I have.
Is it because you know? Because you know that my affection is a means to an end? Or do you feel something for Wynn and don't know how to say it?
It's not because of something I know. It's because of what I don't know. And as always, when I don't know something, I freeze up until I know it, as I can't act without knowing. And he sighs and kind of like picks at his teeth a little bit. And I haven't known these things maybe for a long time. And so I just sit in inaction because I don't know. I mean, what matter is it which path you walk forward if they all end in the same place?
Do you know what I think?
I would love to know what I think.
I think it's not that deep. I think it's actually rather shallow. Neil cannot stand the thought of losing his stuff. And at the end of the night, I think you don't have time to concern yourself with relationships, connectivity, etc. Because you need to keep watch of your things.
Maybe. That's not really the question, though, is it? Or the answer, the statement, whatever you want to say. The question is, am I worried that if I reach out to bring you into my orbit that you will just become another one of my things? And then I'll have to worry about you too? Or is it that I don't reach out because I don't see you as one of my things? That's the question I don't know the answer to.
I think you do. I think you know that I'm not yours. And as the world comes to an end, you know that it is inevitable that everything that is yours will be lost. You've been so prepared for the end of the world, but haven't really put thought into what that means for your stuff, your possessions, your obsessions.
It'll be easier if I'm just dead, and then I won't have to worry about him anymore, would I?
That is the easier solution, isn't it? And the edge of the rooftop draws closer to you. If you die, you don't have to experience existence without your things.
Neil kind of looks over the edge, feeling that pull to oblivion, heaves a tired sigh.
You're already losing Wynn. She's going to be a slave to Miles within the night. Britta to Pendragon. You're going to lose your things. But if something should happen to you, if you die right now, they won't be able to think about anything else. You'll exist in their mind forever, and they will never be free of you. You may not be able to enjoy the connection,
but they'd see me.
But they would see you. And what's more important, trying to survive the death of the world, or to finally be seen. And the edge of the roof draws closer.
Maybe, it's not like I haven't thought about this part. I have at least enough awareness of myself for that. Maybe the reason that you were my beloved is because you were the second person to see me. Ever. And I did like it. I do. Maybe the reason I can't really escape from my sire is because he was the first. I want everybody to see me. I do. I'm so afraid of it, but... And he kind of vaguely gestures up at the sky where the red star is gazing down, like staring directly at them. I don't know if everyone feels like they want to be alone, but don't want to be lonely and be left alone. But he looks down at the edge that's gotten closer. I know I don't.
You feel a hand take yours, and fingers entwining with yours. You realize that just to your left, your sire has arrived.
Right on schedule.
You will be remembered as having been right all along, and they will feel so stupid for all of those times that they didn't listen to your warnings. And he kind of takes a step towards the edge, pulling you along.
Despite having been in these scenarios a few times before, Neil, for just a second, lets himself buy into the illusion of this place. Before, in the past, last time, the things that chased him, the things that bothered him were Reese getting caught, his secrets being found out. This one is a little bit more real than it ever was. And he looks at his sire and goes, I could just step right off the edge with you, sire. But you're the one who taught me the first steps on how not to fall in the first place. And
Then why wouldn't you trust me now? And he takes another step towards the edge of the roof, and this time, Nara comes to your side, and she takes your other hand and does the same. Make the sacrifice, Neil. You know it's the only way Miles will ever learn.
As soon as she says that, Neil stops moving forward, like he has become anchored to that spot in reality. It's not like he just digs his heels in, it's like nature itself stops him and roots him to the place. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. That's a step too far. You know... Why am I indulging this? I know, as much as anyone, that change, growth, this kind of thing is incremental. It's slow. It can take forever. That's why I'm here in the first place. Shepherd on a path. And he goes to try and let go of both of their hands.
It pains you to do it.
To his core. Like, even to himself, he's putting on a front. He's been in these positions before and knows it costs something, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt to pay the cost.
You force your hands open, and they just look away as though they forget you are there at all. And then another voice speaks. This one you don't totally recognize. I am going to reveal to you a burden, and you are going to carry it. And when you look, you see a figure that is wearing beautiful red and gold silk robes, and their skin is like milk, pale, perfectly smooth. There are no hairs on their body whatsoever. Their ears are simple holes in the sides of their head. Their nostrils very much the same. Their eyes are large and piercing. And when it speaks, there are rows of fangs in its mouth. You know in your heart that this is the Vikos.
Neil's brow furrows at this intruder in this space.
You shall be a stepping stone for others. And while useful, important even, you will die. This is the end of your journey. It waves its hand and you see just New York, endless, expansive. It takes up the horizon and the heavens above, and everywhere is just the skyline of New York, replicated over and over in all directions. Regrettably, what sliver of a chance you provide will cost you everything. Do you accept?
Neil looks at the Vikos and for a second looks back over his shoulder to that edge that might be a few inches closer than it was when he last looked. Like he's legitimately considering everything that Nora and his sire said to him before this moment. And he doesn't cry, but his voice comes out a little strangled. I guess I do.
Then come, and let us see to the Neftali. And they offer their hand.
Neil sighs, and that like supernatural weight that had rooted him in spot to not get dragged off the edge of the building now seems to be more like a burden keeping him from stepping forward, rooted in indecision, which is where he always cloaks himself protectively. And then with what looks like an inordinate amount of mental effort, takes a step forward to take the Vikos' hand.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Matolius. Find him online at brianmatolius.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, kindred.
Do you want to take a moment, think about what it's going to be? Because Wynn art just changed.
Ooh.
That's true.
If I can make a suggestion based
course.
on thematics,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of crow and raven shit going on in your story this season.
So, Tomcat.
So, a bear tummy. I don't know what.
Whisker.
The thing that comes to mind is her braid turns into feathers.
Just to have a few feathers poking out of the white hair, like black.
No, just her braid is braided feathers now.
Like her hair is like downy, long, white feathers.
Yeah, like emu feathers.
Not literally emu feathers, because that just does not sound edgy enough.
You know what I could...
Emus are awful birds.
You know what
I
I
know,
could...
but
You know what I
they're
actually could see? Just because, like, It almost sounds weird to me that, like, the hair just magically becomes feathers in the back. Because hair is, like, kind of like this dead kind of stuff. But if kind of, like, growing out of your scalp, it, like, kind of parts of it calcify into, like, the quill at the base of a feather. So, like, there's, like feathers kind of, like, growing into the hair and, like, you know, and, like, I almost, like, the idea of it being, like, the kind of, like, that, like, hard part of the middle of a feather.
Yeah.
Almost like echoes like quills from like a porcupine. So like it's like this like indistinct kind of beast feature almost.
Yeah. So she does have the thing too where she gets beast features that are helpful.
Oh, what about, building off the quill
that
thing.
means that you have a beast feature that is helpful.
Which you have the snake fangs.
Okay.
You have a mixed blessing.
Okay. That's good. What were you saying, Rebecca?
Oh, no, I was gonna go with that and try to think of a use for like a, you know, like a Bianca Belair.
Gotcha.
But like,
But I think it sounds like you kind of thematically, right? The imagery of what you're thinking through. Do you want something that still moves like hair, or do you want something that is like? What is the feeling of what you want?
Well, I do like the raven bird crow imagery.
What if there were black feathers sprouting amongst your white hair?
That could work. Yeah, not like true crow feathers, but
Just some in there.
yeah. That they don't like stick up straight everywhere because crows tend to be pretty glossy.
Like they're glossy, long, like thick black feathers that now streak your white hair like lowlights.
Yeah.
Does that sound like what you're going for?
Yeah, we can do that.